Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a red wine from Argentina.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy New Year once again. Aaron here from Stop Wasting Your Wine, joined by two of the best darn wine reviewers I know, Colin and Joel. How are you guys?
2025.
Very nice compliment.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here, baby.
It's officially
Big
the
things.
third year of this podcast. We haven't been
Whoa.
doing it for 3 years, but we have now spanned 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's almost like
impressive.
3 decades.
Yeah, it's like been doing it forever.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like that.
But no,
Right.
we released our last episode on New Year's Eve. How was your actual celebrations? Did you drink any good wine? Did you make any New Year's resolutions, or are we skipping that step?
Well, I'll tell you, my night was crazy. If I
Oh, wow.
must tell you guys.
Wow. Can you
Oh,
even talk
man,
about
let's
it
hear it.
on the pod,
Let's
or
hear it.
Well,
do you gotta
here's
keep
what I
it?
can tell you. Here's what I can tell you. The limo pulled up about 8:15. We got to the first club about 8:45. That's where it gets a little hazy. I'm
Wow.
joking. I made a steak. We put the kid to bed, and Kathy and I watched the ball drop.
The limo
Hey,
pulled up,
listen.
realized it was at the wrong house, and it left.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm impressed you made it to the ball. I think we went to bed at like 11. We were just like, do you know what? We had a couple glasses of wine. We're like, we're just gonna go to bed.
Yeah, we did actually make it till midnight.
That's
like,
impressive.
Shortly
That's
after
impressive.
we were done.
Aaron and I used to do the go to bed before. Like, obviously, when we were super young, we'd stay out, and then the first few years of kids, we were like, we don't need to see the ball drop. But I feel like now we're forcing ourselves to stay up. It's like, we're
Yeah.
taking our time back that the kids have taken from us. Like, we're going to do this thing. We're going to stay up. We're going to see the ball drop. We are going to be around other adults.
Well-
So we had a nice little night.
This raises a question though, because I was thinking, what do you guys have older kids? Have they stayed up until midnight yet, or when are you planning to let them do that?
No, they both, this year Parker
They've
was
done it?
sick. So
Okay.
Parker stayed home with my mom. But
Yeah.
Holden 2 years in a row, and last year Parker, when
Stayed
he
up.
was 3, they made it. They are
Amazing.
delirious. They are like not making any sense. The way home, I tried to explain to Holden that he had school tomorrow, but don't worry, it's today right now. So he's going to go to bed and he's going to wake up and it's still going to be today because it's past midnight. And he was just like, I have to go to school when I get. We're like, no, man, you got one more day. He's like, so I don't have to go for 2 days. We're like, no, it's tomorrow,
Two
but
sleeps.
today is. And Erin's looking at me. She's like, just stop. Just
Yeah.
stop
Why
it.
torture yourself?
That's when you
yeah,
go to
no,
sleep,
for sure.
right? You have 2 sleeps till
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, you go to sleep and you wake up
Yeah.
and it's a new day and there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
If you were
No,
set.
my kids have not made it to midnight yet. My kids haven't made it to like 10 yet. I don't see the benefit in keeping them up for really anything. So they are creatures of habit. So we got a pretty strict bedtime over here.
Did you guys drink anything good?
Yeah, I gotta
What'd
tell
you do?
I did. I'm gonna have to go get the bottle to tell you the name, or actually I can pull up the picture I sent you guys.
Chateau Pigal.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, Colin was
Or
just ready to
Domaine.
go on that one.
Domaine.
de Pop.
Oh, yeah, I think it's Domaine de Pigal.
Mm.
if I'm not
Let me
mistaken.
look. Let me be very clear.
While he's looking that up, I can assure you I did not. We had some
Aw, you of all
Mum
people.
Brut rosé. Yeah, listen, I knew we were gonna go to bed early, so I wasn't gonna go spend big on just a regular night. So I just got some Mum Brut rosé, and it was okay.
It was mid.
It was mid, as the kids would say.
Yeah. Aaron and I took a trip to a wine shop that I actually haven't been to in the town right next door, which was great. Had this whole really great back room with a lot of different good stuff, all reasonably priced. I'll definitely go back. But grab this bottle. It's a meal pair, Emily Paris, a meal Paris, a champagne. It was like $35. It was actually really good. It was
Nice.
super crisp, really nice. I actually liked it a little bit more than the Marie de Moy that we had the other day.
Ooh, spicy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Same price range. Kept them next to each other. But yeah, it was a nice little find.
There you go. Yeah, so it was the Domaine de Piguet Chateauneuf de Pop
Ooh,
was incredible. And then for bubbles that night, we did the Valet de Brunette Blanc de Noir champagne. It was fantastic. So we were trying to account for the fact that we did nothing with having some fun, decent wine, and I think we kind of nailed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you sent us the pictures of what you were drinking, I was like, oh, Joel and Kathy are getting a little fancy tonight, all by themselves.
Yeah,
I like that.
Good.
I like it a lot.
All right, so it sounds like everyone had a lovely and age-appropriate New Year's Eve. Glad everyone celebrated in a way that's special to them.
Yes.
But we have a great episode ahead of us. We are going to be drinking a red that I found. We're going to learn 4 things about Argentinian wine from Colin. We're going to play a brand new game that Colin came up with called The Perfect Pair. And then we'll get into our review. So I am excited. Yes, Joel will have to say it in a funny way what that will inevitably become our drop.
Let me think about it.
Yeah, work on it.
You got this.
We got some time.
This.
Yep.
Awesome. So with that being said, Joel, what are we drinking today?
Yes. So today we mentioned we're drinking a red wine from Argentina. More specifically, we are drinking the Unánime Gran Vino Tinto. This is from 2019. This is a blend of 60% Cabernet Sauvignon, 25% Malbec, and 15% Cab Franc. This is from Argentina. It has an ABV of 14.5%. Watch out, fellas.
Hey.
It's a heavy hitter.
Pick this up. Yeah, it is.
Still on vacation.
For 25, I think the Florida folks got it for about 22. That thing was on sale down here. Somewhere between 22 and 25 bucks.
Yeah, I put $25 on there knowing that the retail is normally $25, but it does seem to go on sale into the 2022 range relatively often.
Too. I went to the rack, went to my local Total Wine. You know how usually there's like maybe 2 rows of this wine or of like whatever wine you're looking for? This had I don't know if they're doing a promotion. I don't know if this is a new winery direct situation, whatever, but it was 8 rows, probably 4 bottles deep of this wine. So
yeah, Mascota, which is the vineyard or the group of vineyards, I guess. This is Total Wine's. This is one of their major brands that they bring in. Very similar to the Olema, the rosé that we tried. This kind of falls into that same category where this is almost one of their, I wouldn't call it exclusive, but they push this brand pretty heavily.
And that was a lovely natural pivot because that is one of the big reasons I grabbed this bottle. One, we've had some really good experiences with brands that are big in Total Wine like Olema, and we've had some rough moments with the Carmen that we grabbed. And so, when we see something that they pushing, and this one too, they sell it in a normal bottle. They sell it in the, 1.5 liter size. They have.
See that.
Do they really? Okay.
Yeah. This is all sorts of different varieties of this going on. And so if it is halfway decent, it is a fun and easy bottle to grab. And also just besides that, it does have a big 94-point sticker from James Suckling. So that's one of the higher ratings we've seen from him. Also noticed this year and the previous year, the 2018 they had was also ranked similarly. So maybe there's also consistency in the quality. And also it's a real nice bottle. We've talked about this before. Definitely the weighted bottles is a bit of a gimmick. Although I think, Joel, you were mentioning before, it does seem to also be kind of a Cabernet Sauvignon kind of thing.
They're definitely, I as anecdotal, but I feel like there's a connection, a correlation between cabs and those big, heavy bottles. I don't know why.
It's part of the brand, part of the vibe. It is, but it's a nice bottle. It's heavy. It's well designed. It's has a good look to it. So if it's a halfway decent wine for $25, hey, it's a good thing to have in your back pocket.
Sure.
So I figured that'd be a good one to try tonight.
Love it.
And it's cool, Argentina known for its Malbec. This is a traditional Bordeaux blend, really. So it'll be interesting to see how this one stacks up because Malbec is really king over there. So it'll be cool to see some of these other French grapes and how they compare to the Bordeaux as opposed to some of the other wines that we've tried.
So
that is funny to be thinking Bordeaux as we're getting into our Argentinian blend.
Right.
Argentinian blend, Bordeaux style, big heavy bottle, Total Wine to go to. Let's try it out. Let's get into it.
Tastes like wine.
What's not to love? Hopefully.
Now, I'm assuming you guys opened yours up a bit ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little bit ago.
Yeah. So for listener home, we all probably opened up our bottles probably at least
20.
30, 45 minutes ago. So it's had plenty of time to air out. Colin, why don't you start us off? What are you getting on the nose? Does your nose work again? We're good.
Yeah. No, I think we're okay. So
New
I
year,
get
new
quite a bit of
nose.
plum. New year, new year,
New
old nose
year,
actually,
new nose.
Oh, that's true.
which is the nose I prefer. The old one. The new one couldn't smell anything. But yeah, I'm picking up some dark plum on this one. Some dark cherry for sure. Definitely getting a little bit of that oak influence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll stop there if anybody else wants to hop in. I got a couple other things, but I want to see what you guys think first.
What about you,
Well,
Joe?
Yeah, you're naming a lot of red fruits and stone fruits. It's funny. The first thing that I got was a little blueberry in there too, oddly enough. But yeah, everything else that you've said.
Definitely a lot of oak influence. Getting a little bit of that, vanilla off the top. It's one of my favorite
sure.
ones to pull out. Maybe a little bit of that. I don't know. You kind of use the phrase spicy, Colin. Little spices off the top.
Spicy.
A little spicy wine. I don't know. Something off the top. Is
Yeah,
that what I'm getting?
you definitely get some of those baking spices, I'll say. That
Yeah.
vanilla kind of with the maybe some clove in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also get the one thing I pick up that really kind of stands out about this wine is coffee. Like like a light roast coffee. It's
Yeah.
definitely not too intense.
No, I like that.
And
I
then
like that
I'll
quite a
say
bit.
the only other fruit I'm getting in there is blackberry, but it definitely smells pretty ripe. There's not I would say not too much fresh about this wine. And then I also get a hint of alcohol. I don't know about you guys, but
Mm-hmm.
I smelt this twice and I've coughed, almost the same amount of times because it really comes off the nose.
Yeah.
For listener at home, if you ever see Colin in the wild and ask him to take a shot with you, he will cough for 5 minutes after taking that shot. If he says yes, he probably will
I
not.
will also very good. I was gonna say I will not take that shot.
I was gonna say, but don't let that deter you. But
Yeah,
if you're not gonna
keep
take
hitting.
it, yeah, be deterred.
Absolutely. But yeah, all right. So all that makes a lot of sense. What are you getting on your sip? Joe, why don't you start us off?
Definitely corroborating a lot of what we called out. I know it's weird, but still feeling good about my blueberry call out, but definitely more of that cherry, definitely the plum. I will say it smelled, like pretty oaky influence, but on the sip, it's really it's there, but it's not the first thing, which is a
Mm-hmm.
pleasant surprise in my book. How about you guys?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
jump
would
in
just
before Colin does. No,
go for it.
because you're gonna say all the
Okay,
words I
okay.
know. Get out of here.
Okay, go for it.
Uh,
All right.
No, I'll just say this. I'll say it's really good that we let this air out. I think when I took a sip when I first poured this, my immediate reaction was like, ooh, I don't know, like. But now that it's aired out a bit, the overall balance, like, it's really nice. Like, it has a nice fullness in the sip. The tannins are obviously not like super overwhelming, pretty good. And yeah, I think a lot of the flavors, especially like now you said coffee, Colin, like there's like this Starbucksian like pike roast
Ooh,
taste to
what a
it
word.
that I just made up. I'm gonna copyright that, but like it has like that light roast, pike roast. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm getting that.
And I would say like the one thing that really stood out to me is the structure, because this is bold wine. There's
Mm-hmm.
no doubt about that. There's quite a bit of body on this wine, quite a bit of tannin, like really super grippy, but it's not itchy or scratchy. Actually, for the amount of tannin that there is,
Itchy and
it's actually
scratchy.
pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Itchy and scratchy show.
Excellent.
For all
Good, good,
millennials
good,
out there.
good.
Yep, yep. And then, nice acid. I'll say the
Yeah.
structure very structurally well balanced. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as flavor is concerned, I would agree. A lot of stuff that we called out. And then one actually note I just picked up on the nose. Do you say there was Cab Franc in here?
Yes,
Yes.
15%.
Oh, so maybe a little bit of that Cab Franc like dirt, that like potting soil,
Yeah.
which I didn't pick up, and maybe it just kind of evolved a little bit in front of our eyes. But other than that, all the dark fruits that we were saying, I would agree with.
And I have to say, one thing I'm really excited about drinking this right now is what I'm not getting is any kind of artificial flavor that we sometimes get in some of the larger brand. I'm sure there's some aspect in there in order for this to be super mass produced, but we've had some where it's just like, surprise, we use oak chips, or like this has that like menthol smell to it, or that candy cherry kind of smell that we've picked up a few times. It's just been way over the top, and that's not here, which is kind of cool. So big bold wine that you can get at any Total Wines nationally, and so far feeling pretty good about.
Yeah, I think we should talk about the alcohol again, just because
Yep.
There's a lot of it.
Still present.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
very
warm.
much a part of the sip as well. But again, I mean, not like you said, Colin, it's a big, bold wine. It's meant to be a big, bold wine. So I think
Right.
that it's an okay vehicle for the elevated alcohol here. So it's not taken away, but just want to make sure we note that it's definitely there.
All right. So excited to set this off to the side for a little bit, see if we pick up anything else once we've learned a little something and had a little fun. Colin, can you teach us some stuff, please?
I'm going to try.
I appreciate it.
This is the only thing you will learn.
All right, so today we're going to learn a bit about Argentina. Since this wine doesn't have a region on the front, I thought I'd keep it super high level and just talk about Argentina as a whole. And of course, their wine scene. I'm not just going to sit here and talk about Argentina.
Argentina,
Right.
the nation founded.
The history of Argentina. So, as I kind of mentioned this, but Malbec is absolutely the king of Argentina, which is why a Bordeaux blend out of Argentina is pretty cool. And if you do see a region, a lot of the time you're going to see Mendoza on the front of the bottle. And this wine, which is interesting why they only put Argentina on the front, this wine is actually, according to the back label, from Mendoza. It says all of the grapes are picked in Mendoza, which leads me to question why they wouldn't put that on the front. Now, I don't know all of the rules in Mendoza. Maybe this doesn't fit under
Interesting.
the rules of the region. I don't know. But it was interesting that they decided to go with only Argentina.
Or I wonder too if if they're trying to be a Bordeaux style winemaker in Mendoza, and they don't want to be lumped in with just a straight Malbec situation, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna rep the Argentina bit, but don't want to be backed in with, not that it's a bad place to be backed into, but only associated with Malbecs.
Like a couple times on their label, they talk about like Argentinians' #1 wine. This is the wine of, like, they're trying to label it as this is the wine of Argentina. I wonder if that's why. Cool.
All
Sorry.
right. Cool. No, it'll be interesting. Well, maybe we'll look that up and see if they speak to that at all, because that's super
research
interesting.
department
I'd
on
like
it.
to know more. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So Argentina has some of the highest altitude vineyards anywhere in the world, and you usually find these in the Salta region, and they have some vineyards up to 10,000 feet in altitude, which is crazy if you think about how high that is, and growing grapes in that kind of altitude.
Some high grapes.
That'd be some super high grapes. It would be interesting to try one of those wines, because at that altitude, I would imagine you're getting a lot of heat from the sun, but it's also, because of the altitude, nice and cool. So you're probably in a really good location to grow grapes. So that some of those wines are probably super bold and outstanding. Also, Argentina has been growing wine for a really long time. The first vines in Argentina were found back in the 1500s.
What?
Yeah, that's right. When Spanish missionaries brought them over and planted them to produce sacramental wine. So, and you'll find this a lot in wine history. Wine regions a lot of the time started off as missionaries growing sacramental wine, because a lot of times that was the main reason to have wine. Why? What's the matter?
What's
Aaron?
that? Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
No, just like, hooray, wine, colonialism. Let's move forward.
Oh,
Why
okay.
do you always have to take it to colonialism? It's always
Because it's always
like
colonialism. It
The
just
third or
is.
fourth time you brought that up. Okay.
I mean, it
All
just
right.
is. It is. Let's go back to South Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That makes it for such difficult editing. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
and then the last fun fact about Argentina is the grape Bonarda is kind of an up-and-coming grape that you don't hear a lot about, but it makes some absolutely fantastic wines. It's actually the second most widely planted grape, and these wines are usually super easy drinking. They're going to be more fruit-forward, maybe not as big as the wine we're drinking this evening. Maybe one that we can find in the future. If we can find a Bonarda at Total Wine, I would absolutely love to get into that and see what that one's all about. And that's kind of a high-level overview of Argentina.
No, super cool. And I really appreciate you bringing this all back. So this isn't the first Argentinian wine we've had on here. And like, shout out to friend of the pod, Amanda Bandini, because her family was also operating out of Argentina. And they talked a lot about the terroir and the elevation. And so that seems to be like a huge part of Argentinian wine is the massive elevation shifts and the terroir shifts. And when people talk about like wine that was, grapes that were grown on the side of a mountain or down by a river. So yeah, it's always cool to hear about and see what else is going on. Very cool. Thank you, Colin, so much. Every week we do this show, I get slightly smarter, and I appreciate.
I hope so.
That. Yeah, it's entirely your fault. All right, so let's.
Interesting way to end that.
Let's play a game. Colin, this is your game. You made this up. What are we doing?
All right, yeah, we are going to call this one Rate My Pair.
Hey.
Where we are where we are going to pair wines with fun situations or things that you might not regularly think about pairing wine with.
Okay.
So, yes, that's right. No, this is a family show. We're talking about wine pairings here. Get you guys heads out of the gutter.
Okay.
So I figured I'd start it off to give you guys an example of what I'm
Yes.
talking about. And these can be as fun and ridiculous as you want. There's no rules here. They don't have to be serious or anything like that.
I
So
like that.
how about
Okay.
this? What wine are you pairing with hot dogs?
Oh my. Do I have to?
Hot dogs.
Yeah, yes, you do.
I may pair something like what we're drinking, like a kind of big, bold, something to pair with the saltiness, So maybe a Cabernet or maybe a Cabernet forward blend like this one.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the Montepulciano we had a couple weeks ago, that might go with a hot dog, even though it's a pizza wine. Hot dogs and pizza kind of live in the same world. I don't
What?
know. What?
I mean, maybe we eat them
Yeah.
at the same events, but what are you talking about?
Yeah, they're not really similar.
If I'm walking through a college buffet line, I am
Yes.
taking a slice of pizza and a hot dog and a crappily made cheeseburger, and that is my lunch every day.
Well, that sounds amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing I survived college, really. And what I didn't do in college was pair that with a lovely glass of red wine.
I did not.
No, but
Yeah.
I should have.
No.
I too, for some reason, went straight to red. I was thinking maybe a Malbec from Argentina might be a good wine to pair, something that maybe could stand up to like the big, bold, like barbecue, maybe. But
That
very,
big, bold
very-
Heinz ketchup flavor.
Yeah,
I
that's
used
right.
to pair well with that mustard.
Very few times have I ever thought eating a hot dog. God, I would love a nice big bowl of red wine with this.
Wine with this.
I think if there's
You guys
ever a
aren't-
picture of me with a hot dog in one hand and a glass of wine in the other hand, it's AI generated. Like, I just don't think that moment has existed in time.
I don't know. Now you guys are getting me thinking.
You know what I'm not
Like a-
drinking a hot dog with? I don't know why. Look, I don't know what the right answer is to what to pair a hot dog with, but for some reason I'm absolutely not drinking a hot dog with white wine. Like, I don't know why,
Wait,
but I just
hope you're not
cannot.
drinking a hot dog in any
Yeah,
circumstance.
I just want to point out you said you were drinking a hot dog,
Well, that's just
Which
gross
makes-
on a new level.
which makes this even worse. Yeah, 100%.
I'm not blending a hot dog with white wine
Oh,
and consuming
God.
that. No, I could not eat a hot dog with white wine. That doesn't seem like it would work at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems upsetting almost.
We'd have to. Let's try it. I think we just
Sea
found an episode.
Sea swept and a hot dog.
That sounds like a lovely Saturday
That's not
afternoon.
that bad. Yeah.
I mean, it's only because you
I'll
use
try that.
C-Swept. C-Swept makes everything just slightly nicer.
Well, yeah.
All
This
right.
episode brought to you by Josh.
Yeah, it's true.
I think we've gone down the wine and hot dog rabbit hole as
Yeah.
far as we possibly could. Either of you guys have a pair we could discuss?
Does it have to be with like a food, or can I pair it with a
No,
situation or a
go crazy. It can be
circumstance?
Situational
literally you
pairings.
can pair
Be
wine with
situational.
anything.
Okay.
Go crazy.
All right. Let me paint a picture. Okay. Boss has you stay late at work. Rainy day, driving home, flat tire. Got to get out, change your tire. Just awful. You get home, finally done with this awful day. What wine are you opening to come back to earth?
Bourbon.
So what wine are you pairing with sorrow?
Sorry.
What wine are you
that-
pairing
is
with?
that-
Just like one of those. What's the law where just everything that can go wrong will go wrong? Was that
Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law? What's your
Oh, a
Murphy's,
Murphy's Law
Law day wine
Okay.
to hopefully rejuvenate?
It's vodka.
Yeah.
Oh God, never.
While staring
No,
at a wine bottle.
I'd probably want something red, but not something too big and bold because it's been such a heavy day. I think I wouldn't want a heavy wine there. So maybe nice chilled Pinot Noir to kind of liven the spirits a little bit. Get
Okay.
some of those nicer red fruit flavors. Set some of those dark brooding flavors. I don't need anything dark and brooding. I've had enough of that today. So
Mhm.
maybe a lighter red is probably where
Okay.
I'd go with a miserable day.
All right, Aaron.
You know what? I'm going to think like locationally what would make me happier after that.
Sure.
I'm going with a porch pounder.
Cool.
I'm going to go with like that sucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a porch pounder. I'm going to go grab one
like
of our
that
Vino
answer.
Verds.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to chill and know that's an entire bottle of wine that I can pound in my rage and still be pretty sober because it's like 9% alcohol and it's fine.
That's a good.
Yeah,
call.
no, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going for a Vino Verde to liven things up and to soften my mood.
I
Don't
like
hate
that
that.
answer. I'm going the exact opposite of Collins. I feel like, you know how sometimes when you're like angry, you want to hear an angry song, or when you're sad, you just want to hear a sad song. I want
Sure.
a heavy. It's almost the same as my first answer. I want something heavy. I want something high in alcohol. I want something that I'm going to sit in a dark room and just sip on for a while and just totally try to find my way back from that awful day.
I hope you call one of us. Okay.
And I'll call
I hope
one of
you're
you guys and
okay.
be like, what happened? I had to change a tire in the rain.
I got one that's going to be worlds different than both of these so far. All right, mine is what are you pairing with a midnight trip to the karaoke bar?
I feel like you'd want something light and fun, maybe a little bubbly, but not too serious. Maybe like a
Yeah.
prosecco or something. Something you can just enjoy with the girls.
I don't like you gendering my karaoke night experience because I love karaoke. Love it.
Okay.
Nobody's saying
Not
anything
everything
bad
has to be a
about-
big deal, Aaron.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be a
You
big
said
deal.
I know you were doing the shoulder thing, and you said with the girls. No, I agree with you though. I'm going full bubbles. Prosecco sounds awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe something like a light red, like maybe like a Gamay or something like that. Something that won't
Oh
that'll
yeah.
wet the whistle and help me get my full range.
Nice and
but
fruity.
won't take
Mm.
over. Yeah. Aaron, do you remember when Kathy and I came up to visit you in New York and we went and we did some karaoke?
Absolutely. I absolutely do.
I recall. There you go. I would not have remembered that. I recall a fantastic photograph. Almost recall the moment, but more the photograph of, I believe I was singing into a beer bottle, top of my lungs.
You're singing
look
into my face.
Yes, you look slightly frightened. Kathy, who I don't believe was my wife at the time, but did end up moving forward to be my wife, absolutely looking disgusted.
Despite
this, she saw past it. And I believe there's also just a person in the background just like doing like a side, like what the hell is going on over there? Let me see if I can find this picture. There it
Sounds
is.
about right. Sounds like a great night.
This is that is the
Yeah.
moment.
There it is. Yeah, that's right. That's when I lived at 86th and 2nd Avenue, and that was Iggy's, which is like the city's only whiskey and karaoke bar. So that's the picture you get. Now, if it
What to
was Prosecco and karaoke, I think that picture would have been a lot nicer. But that was a whiskey and
Probably.
beer and singing probably, Jimmy Eat World or something at that point. So who knows?
Totally. I
God.
believe it was Oasis, actually.
That would make the most sense.
So who had the best pair? Who has the best pair?
I don't know. Those are all pretty good pairs.
Yeah.
I
think
don't ever wanna
karaoke and
test-
Bubbles
Yeah.
is the best pair. I mean, that just
Yeah.
makes the most sense. It just
That's a good
feels
one.
right.
I'll do
Just
that.
feels
I
right.
will literally do that. I will go to a karaoke night moving forward, and I'll be like, we're only drinking Prosecco. And we'll see how that goes.
Love that. Yeah. Tell me how it goes.
As
I
far as who
don't want to
brought
try the hot
best,
dog.
yeah, I was gonna say as far as who brought the best question, Colin, I really loved yours.
Deep,
I'm gonna try
deep
it.
question.
Yes.
Next time I have hot dogs, which is every once in a while, I'd pour myself a nice glass of red wine. See how it goes.
All I know right now is that I need a picture for social media content that is you with a glass of wine and a hot dog, and then your review.
I will be sure to take a picture and send it your way.
Super duper. You have 10 days.
And that was Rate My Pair.
All right, so brand new game, Rate My Pair. Thanks for bringing that our way, Colin. Appreciate it. We learned a little bit about Argentinian wine. Let's get back into this and see if it has evolved at all.
I'm sort of thinking this one might have.
It feels like if anything would, a wine like this might. Colin?
Yeah. I think I had it open for almost an hour, really. We took so long to get set up tonight. I don't know if it's changed too much now. Has it changed a lot from when we opened it to begin with? 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But in the half hour we've been talking this evening, I don't know if there's been any major changes. Maybe the alcohol has backed off a little bit, but it's still there. But that would be the only thing that really stands out to me.
I don't know if it changed or if just my perception changed a little bit, but right there I just got a little pepper that I hadn't really discovered before, like black table pepper. That was really nice.
I don't hate that at all.
Yeah.
That's a great call.
Other than that, pretty much everything we had called before.
I don't have anything new to add. Agree with you both. So, that being said, once again, this is the Unánime Gran Vino Tinto from Argentina. It is Cabernet Sauvignon, Malbec, and Cabernet Franc. How are we feeling about it? Where are we putting it? Do either one of you gentlemen want to go first?
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
Joel can go first since he did that to me
I'll
last
jump in
episode.
there.
Ooh, boom. Joel, go ahead.
Wow. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, I don't mind at all. Let's see. Okay. I'm not going to lie. Really pleasantly surprised by this wine. I sometimes get a little nervous with, a big old bold wine that is just going to be like too one thing or another. It's going to be too fruity. It's going to be too alcohol-y. It's going to be too oaky. And this is not either of those in excess. I think it's really nicely balanced. I think the blend is really cool. We've talked about that. Just, that blend coming from Argentina, from Mendoza specifically, I think is really cool. And I'm enjoying the heck out of it more than I thought I would. I'm going to go ahead and put this, I think I'm going to go on the kitchen table, just on the kitchen table. And my reason for this being, I think the experience of drinking it is pleasant and good enough. And then just kind of everything that we talked about makes me excited to kind of share this one a little bit too, because it does have some unique qualities about it that I think are really cool to show off. So that's my rating going on the kitchen table. Want to share it with my friends.
Nice. Colin?
Yeah, this is definitely not my style of wine. Not a style of wine that I reach for, the big, bold, in-your-face, intense Cabernet forward wines. But this is a good one. I'm really enjoying it. This wine has some really nice complexity to it. Like, there's a lot going on in here. Each sip kind of brings something new with the fruit and the oak, some of those earthy notes with a little bit of that potting soil, maybe a little bit of the black pepper. So I really enjoy the complexity. I think the only negative is the finish, and not that it's bad, it just kind of disappears really quick. Like, you get so much up front and then it's just like it trails away at the end. But overall, really nice experience for $22. I would absolutely recommend this wine, and I too am gonna put it on the kitchen table. For somebody who really likes Cabernet, I think this would be a great wine for them. I think this would be right up their alley. So absolutely gonna put this one on the kitchen table and would share it with my friends, especially that Cabernet lover.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think I am relieved I have to say. Whenever we
Yes.
roll the dice on one of these big brands, we never know what we're going to get. I think it's a solid Cabernet. Definitely put on a kitchen table. Definitely a wine that I would grab if I'm going out to dinner, especially we talk about like Jersey, the BYOB scene. Like I'm going to go out to a pasta dinner. I'm going to go out to a steak shop and I want to grab, just a bottle of wine. I don't want to go crazy on it. This would be a really good one to grab to have with a meal. Yeah, it's really good. It's a good Cabernet. And again, like it runs from $22 to $25. So, in that price range, really solid bottle to grab, to share with friends, to bring out to dinner, to just have in your house during a party, or to just, enjoy with a meal. So I'm on board.
James Suckling's palate is a very interesting one because at 94 points, that's 6 points away from perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as relative casuals compared to James Suckling, who is an absolute monster in the wine industry, we all put it on the table, which is, means it's a good wine. We'd absolutely drink it again. We'd share it. But I don't think if we were to score this on a 100-point scale, this is getting anywhere close to 100.
That's an
comparatively, in my opinion.
It's the
it's
the comparative, right? It's the comparative, especially when we think about some of the wines that we've absolutely loved, the La Sacristia, the St. Giorgio Chianti. Like there's just been wines that have just knocked our socks off right off the bat, and this, to me, feels more in that range of just super mass produced while being good and affordable, but not special. And so, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm like, wow, how are we getting from like 91, 92, which we've seen on some other bottles, to like 94 with James Suckling? Like, what did he love about this?
That's a good question. Yeah.
So one more time, this is the Unánime.
By the way, did you say steak shop?
I did. You've been
Earlier,
holding on to that
when you
for
go
a
to the
while.
steak, yeah.
Hold on.
you were
You've been
kinda-
sitting on that for 10 minutes.
You were cooking. I didn't want to stop you.
Yeah.
But I had to go back before we end this show. And well, there's two
You
reasons.
don't have
Number one,
steak shops down in Florida?
No, but I gotta tell you, one,
Sounds great.
I like to call anybody out when they say the wrong thing, as I would expect you guys to do to me as well. Number two, steak shop is a cool ass way to say steakhouse. Like, let's go to the steak shop. That's cool. We went to a steak shop for dinner. I think
But
that's
like-
awesome.
I feel like
Would
a
a
steak
butcher
shop has
be
3
closer
tables.
to a
Yeah.
steak shop?
Let's not get bogged down in the
Nah.
wooden
In
this and
semantics.
who that. Let's just appreciate that Aaron said steak shop, and I like that.
Thanks, Joel. Didn't let me just slide
Sounds
past that.
good.
I appreciate you.
You're
This
welcome.
is the Unánime Gran Vino Tinto 2019 from Argentina, 14.5% ABV. Get it at your Total Wine for about $22 to $25.
Not a waste.
Not a waste of your wine. Not a waste of your wine. Perfect for the price point. And James Suckling agrees with us, which means we're just like James Suckling.
Wow.
Joel, if people want to continue to interact with us, how can they do that?
There's a couple million things separating us from James Suckling. Yeah, if you want to reach out to us, listen, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube. Just search Stop Wasting Your Wine. You'll find us there. Go to stopwastingyourwine.com. If you're
Actually,
listening to
don't
us
go to the
now-
website. It's totally fucked.
Okay, don't go to the website. It's
It
fucked
got
right
hacked.
now. It got
Did it
hacked.
really?
Don't go there.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Don't go to our website. But wherever you are right now listening to our awesome show, if you don't follow us, please do. Give us a rating and tell your friends. We'd appreciate it.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. We will see you next week. Bye, y'all.
And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye.